through interesting sources and really pull out those key nuggets of knowledge for you. Today, we're taking a deep dive into something you might recognize, atomic habits, but we're looking at it through a very specific and I think really powerful lens, using it for your mental wellness.
Yeah, it's a connection that once you really look at it, it makes so much sense. James Clear's work, Atomic Habits, it's become foundational for understanding habit building,
Yeah.
right? And while, yeah, people often use it for productivity or maybe physical health, the principles, they're incredibly potent when you apply them to, well, nurturing a healthier mind.
Yeah.
So our mission today is basically to boil down those core ideas and show you how these tiny, consistent actions can be, tailored to really boost your mental health. A shortcut, sort of, to getting informed without getting overwhelmed.
Absolutely. And that core idea, small changes, remarkable results, it just clicks perfectly when you think about mental health, doesn't it? We're not talking about some huge overnight fix that feels impossible. It's more about those little everyday actions that stack up. They build on each other, creating something really significant and sustainable over time.
Precisely. And what's really powerful here, I think, is the focus on a gradual, sustainable path. We often feel this immense pressure to completely overhaul our mental state, like right now.
Yeah, it's daunting.
Totally daunting. And it often leads to burnout or feeling like you failed. But these atomic habits, they set you up for steady, achievable progress. It's like saying even the smallest positive step counts towards a stronger mental landscape without all that pressure.
Okay, let's really dig into this then, because this is often the aha moment for people. The source material really emphasizes focusing on systems over goals. Think about it. We often set these big, kind of vague mental health goals, like, I want to stop feeling anxious, or, I just want to be happier.
Right. Noble goals, but
how do you do that practically? Where do you even start when your mental state feels so, amorphous?
And this is that crucial shift, the paradigm shift, really. It's why Clear's framework is so effective. If you zoom out, the big insight is that the secret isn't just repeating the goal over and over. It's about building the right systems. If you can actually design your environment, your daily routines, so they naturally support a better state of mind, well, the mental health outcomes you want tend to follow more organically. It becomes less about staring at the destination, and more about just refining those daily steps that get you there.
Which leads to the question, right? How do we build those systems effectively?
Exactly. And that's where James Clear's brilliant 4 laws of behavior change come into play. We're going to take those laws and apply them specifically to mental health habits. Let's break them down. So first one, law number 1, make it obvious. The core idea is creating cues, visual prompts maybe, that trigger the habit you want. For mental wellness, this concept of making it obvious is really powerful. Like, the source suggests simple things, putting your journal right there on your pillow.
Yeah.
You literally can't miss it before bed.
Or having your meditation cushion out, visible, ready to go in your living room. It kind of removes that mental step of remembering or deciding.
That's exactly right. And, if you flip that, for the habits you want to break, which is often just as vital for mental health, the opposite applies. Make it invisible.
Ah, okay.
So if you're caught in, say, excessive doom scrolling, pretty common these days, right? And a real drain.
Definitely.
You might physically put your phone in another room during certain times. Or maybe less drastically, just turn off notifications for those specific apps that pull you into negative loops. It's basically out of sight, out of mind. It's not just a saying, it's a strategy for designing your space to support better habits by removing the triggers for the bad ones.
Okay, so positive habits are obvious, negative ones are invisible. Got it. What's next? Law number 2 is make it attractive. Now, this feels like where a lot of us can get tripped up. How do we make these mental health habits something we actually want to do instead of just another thing we feel we should do, like a chore on the list?
Yeah, and this is where temptation bundling comes in. It's honestly one of my favorite takeaways from the sources, the basic idea. You pair a habit you need or should do with one you actually want to do. You leverage your existing desires.
Okay, like how?
Well, for example, if you want to get consistent with gratitude journaling, maybe you only let yourself listen to your absolute favorite podcast while you're writing in it.
Interesting.
Or maybe you create a little ritual with a specific calming herbal tea that you only have right before your evening wind-down routine. It's about linking the should-do with an enjoyable want-to-do.
Temptation bundling. I like that phrase. It definitely sounds like it makes the whole thing more appealing. But I wonder, does it ever feel a bit like you're just bribing yourself? Does it take away from the intrinsic value of the habit itself?
That's a really fair question. And yeah, maybe initially it feels a bit like a bribe. But the clever thing about bundling is that it gets you over the hurdle of starting. It gets you doing the behavior consistently.
Hmm.
And then over time, as you keep doing it, let's say the gratitude journaling, you naturally start to feel the inherent benefits. The shift in perspective, maybe feeling calmer.
Right.
So the external reward, the podcast or the tea, it just kickstarts things. It
Hmm.
lets those intrinsic rewards, the actual improved well-being, take root and eventually become the main driver. It's more like a bridge to get you there, not really a long-term crutch.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It's about lowering that initial resistance, which actually leads us perfectly into law number 3, make it easy.
This feels like a big one. So many of us stumble here because we tend to overcomplicate things, right? We aim for perfection straight away, especially with self-care stuff. It's like, well, if I can't meditate for a full 30 minutes, why bother? Absolutely. And the source really hammers this home. Reduce the friction. Minimize it. For mental health habits, this means starting ridiculously small. Make it so easy, so effortless. You basically can't say no.
Like how small?
Like, if reading helps you relax, don't start by aiming for an hour, just 5 minutes. Keep the book on your nightstand, maybe open to the page.
Hmm.
Or if you want to take walks to clear your head, lay out your walking clothes the night before. Remove that tiny barrier that might stop you in the morning.
Yeah.
Even like setting a timer for just 1 minute of deep breathing can be a powerful start.
It's so true, isn't it? That feeling of, ugh, I have to do this big thing can just stop you in your tracks.
Totally paralyzing.
But 5 minutes of breathing, or even just 1 minute of positive self-talk, it's infinitely better than 0. And those tiny, almost trivial minutes, they can snowball so easily, right, into 10 minutes, 15. And suddenly you've built a real habit without quite realizing how you got there. Starting small just disarms that resistance. And as those small wins start adding up, we need to make sure they feel good enough to keep going. Which brings us to the final law, number 4. Make it satisfying. So especially with mental health habits where the big payoff might feel distant, how do we make sure the actions themselves feel, rewarding now?
Yeah, and what's really key here is the power of immediate gratification. Of course, the long-term benefits of good mental habits are huge, life-changing even. But our brains often need those smaller, quicker rewards to stay motivated day to day. The source suggests things like after you manage a whole week of journaling, maybe treat yourself to a new book or that nice coffee you like. Something small but enjoyable.
Okay.
And another really powerful tool, just tracking your progress. Seriously, seeing a streak of meditation days grow on an app or just putting a check mark on a physical calendar next to your mindfulness exercise,
Mm.
that visual proof of effort, it's inherently satisfying.
Yeah, I get that. Seeing the chain grow?
Exactly. It sends a signal to your brain like, hey, this is good. This is progress. Let's keep doing this. It reinforces the behavior immediately.
Okay, so let's try and synthesize this whole approach for everyone listening. The core idea for using atomic habits for mental health comes down to these 4 steps, basically. 1, make the good cues obvious. 2, make the habits attractive, maybe using that temptation bundling. 3, make them incredibly easy, reduce the friction. And 4, make them satisfying with quick rewards and tracking.
Yes, precisely.
Hmm.
And the kind of overarching theme here is that you're consciously designing your environment and routines to naturally support the mental state you want. It shifts the focus away from just relying on pure willpower, which, let's face it, is often unreliable and exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, you're building effective systems that kind of do the heavy lifting for you. Every little choice, how you set up your desk, how you wind down at night, each one is an atomic habit shaping your overall mental landscape.
Yeah.
You become the architect of your own well-being, in
Yeah.
a way.
That's a really powerful way to put it. The architect of your well-being. I like that. Before we wrap up, I'm just curious personally, is there one atomic habit for your own mental health that you've put in place that's really made a difference for you?
Yeah, for me, it's probably making journaling much, much easier. I used to have this idea of writing long, deep entries.
Oh, yeah, the pressure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it felt like such a chore that, honestly, I just wouldn't do it most nights. So now I have this little gratitude bullet section in my journal. I just list 3 quick things I'm grateful for. It takes less than a minute. But doing that consistently, that tiny action, it really shifts my focus towards the positive right before sleep. And crucially, I made it obvious. The journal lives right by my bed now, open to that page. All the friction is gone.
That's brilliant. I can totally relate to that pressure of the long entry. For me, I think it's been about making my morning routine more intentional.
Ah, the morning routine, key time.
Yeah, I used to just, grab my phone first thing, instantly into emails, notifications. It felt like starting the day already behind, just reacting.
The reactive spiral.
Totally. So now I make a point just 5 minutes stretching and doing a super short guided breathing exercise before I even touch the phone. It's a tiny shift, really, but that little pocket of calm, it sets such a different, much more peaceful tone for the whole day. It's easy, it's obvious, and it lets me choose how the day begins.
And those small, consistent actions, like in both our examples, that's really what this whole deep dive into atomic habits for mental health is about, isn't it? We really hope this chat has given you some ideas, maybe inspired you to look at your own daily rhythms and think about experimenting, making those tiny tweaks for potentially big improvements in your mental health.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe take a moment to consider how could you design your own systems, your environment, your routines to better cultivate the mental landscape you actually want. Every small step you take, every single atomic habit you build, it really is a powerful investment in your well-being. It shapes not just your days, but potentially your whole outlook.